I'm Mike with List 25, and here are 25 intriguing facts about mummies that might leave you a bit surprised. Are you my mummy?
What a terrible, terrible intro.
You're not supposed to talk! A mummy is the body of a human or animal that has been ceremonially preserved by removal of the internal organs, treated with natron and resin, and wrapped in bandages.
24.
The English mummy is derived from the medieval Latin mummia, a borrowing from the medieval Arabic mumia and from the Persian mum, wax, which meant an embalmed corpse, as well as the bituminous embalming substance, and also meant bitumen.
23.
Some animal mummies discovered by archaeologists include jackals, cats, baboons, horses, birds, gerbils, fish, snakes, crocodiles, hippos, and even a lion. I'm not lying.
You get one.
22.
In case you've ever wondered why so many mummies of jackals have been found, keep in mind that the god of mummification was Anubis, an Egyptian god with the head of a jackal.
21.
Ancient Egyptians started making mummies around 3400 BC, but it took them nearly 800 years to figure out that if they took out the internal organs, the mummies would last instead of rot. Over time, mummification became a very complicated and lengthy process that lasted up to 70 days.
20.
The first person to write in great detail about the process of mummification was the Greek historian Herodotus, after he visited Egypt around 450 BC.
19.
Despite mummies being linked with Egypt, almost exclusively, a South American tribe named Chinchorro was the first to make mummies. According to recent archaeological evidence, the oldest Chinchorro mummies date back about 7,000 years, twice as old as the first Egyptian ones.
18.
The first modern scientific examinations of mummies began in 1901, conducted by professors at the English Language Government School of Medicine in Cairo. The first X-ray of a mummy occurred in 1903, when professors Grafton Elliott Smith and Howard Carter used the only X-ray machine in Cairo at the time to examine the mummified body of Thutmose IV.
17.
Not all mummies were wrapped up in the same position. For example, the vast majority of royal males were positioned with their arms crossed over their chest, the position we most often see when it comes to films and popular media.
16.
According to Egyptian mythology, the god Osiris was the very first mummy in history, but of course, his remains were never found.
15.
That's why, after the mummy was all wrapped up in linen and shrouded, a special cloth with a painted image of Osiris was placed over it. The Egyptian god of the underworld would be kind and hospitable to the dead.
14.
Many people falsely believe that only pharaohs were mummified, but in reality, anyone could be mummified, as long as they could afford it.
13.
Ancient Egyptians believed that anything buried in the tomb with a mummy would help the deceased to succeed in the afterlife. Therefore, anything precious to them could also be found there. This included art, artifacts, treasures, and jewelry.
12.
To provide protection from thieves, ancient Egyptian myth warned that the tombs and their contents had curses laid on them that would be cast on anyone who entered. Some archaeologists who discovered some of these tombs have been said to be struck by very bad luck, and some have even died under unusual circumstances. However, these curses didn't stop several thieves from invading tombs and stealing a lot of precious jewelry and other expensive items that accompanied mummies into the afterlife.
11.
In Victorian times, unwrapping mummies was a popular party event. The party host would buy a mummy, and guests would get to unwrap it. Very strange way to party, don't you think?
10.
Also in the Victorian age, mummies were considered a common ingredient for many medicines, and most doctors reassured their patients of their amazing healing qualities. No comment.
9.
Ramses III had a fear of reptiles, and for this reason, his mummy was found wearing an amulet that would supposedly protect him from snakes in the afterlife. Why did it have to be snakes?
8.
The only organ the ancient Egyptians left inside the mummy was the heart, because they considered it to be the center of intelligence and emotion, qualities that the dead would need in the afterlife as well.
7.
Mummy making was a very profitable business in ancient Egypt and employed many workers, from embalmers and surgeons to priests and scribes.
6.
Without all its wrappings, an average mummy weighs only about 5 pounds.
5.
Most pharaohs' mummies wore a golden face mask inscribed with magic spells. Tutankhamun's mask was made of solid gold. If it was for sale today, it would cost about $13 million.
4.
Sometimes a mummy's mouth would be open to symbolize the act of breathing in the afterlife. It's probably this custom that led to the superstition that mummies come back to life.
3.
In recent years, mummies have been used to calibrate CAT scan machines for use in hospitals at levels of radiation that would be too dangerous and even fatal to a living person.
2.
King Charles II believed mummy dust contained the secret to greatness. He'd have a few mummies standing by and collect the dust that fell off them. He'd then rub the dust on his skin.
1.
Modern sleeping bags were styled to be wide at the shoulders and narrow at the feet, which makes the person lying inside look like a mummy. This isn't just a coincidence, since their design was inspired by how mummies were wrapped for preservation in their tombs. Thanks, Tristan.
Guess are we supposed to say something witty now?
Are you still my mummy?
That was awful.
Hey! My sleeping bag. Enjoying our lists? Be sure to click that subscribe button in the top right corner so you don't miss out on new ones every Monday through Friday. Share them with your friends and help us consistently conciliate curiosity. And if you want even more lists, check out these 2 videos here, or just head to our website at list25.com.